I'm Edward Warfield. I'm the publisher of Citybiz. I'm honored today to interview Jim Decarlo, the Chief Growth Officer from Wealthspire. Welcome, Jim.
Hi, Edwin. Good to be here today at Citybiz.
So you were CEO of StratWealth for 5 years. Tell us about your career, including your stint at StratWealth and your decision to join Wealthspire.
The conversation should start really at the StratWealth point. Up until then, it was a career filled with leadership development, sales and marketing. I worked over in Australia. I saw the Australian market, Southeast Asian market grow in wealth management and financial services. I've been in the industry for almost 30 years. And when I took a sabbatical out of Australia and came back to the US with my wife and 4 kids, I bumped into StratWealth. I was doing some consulting work locally in StratWealth, and I met about 6 years ago. I started consulting with them. Their issues were simple. We've been running a business for 25 years. It was a beautiful business, but it had been flatlining. Growth was hard to find, and there were some challenges internally. My job was to sort of help iron that out. Within 12 months, the chairman turned to me and said, "Can you run this thing?" And lo and behold, 5 years later, we took an RIA, StratWealth, that had been in business, like I said, for 25 years. It had grown to about 750, 800 million of assets, around there. And in under 5 years, about 4 years, we doubled the size of the business and took it to 1.7 billion in the time that I was there. Growth was a function, an outcome to a lot of things that we just did differently. We just changed things. They call me the CEO, but I call myself a chief troublemaker. So my job was just to flip things around and fix things.
And so StratWealth joined Wealthspire in 2020. Can you tell us about that merger and the advantages and why you chose Wealthspire to be your new platform?
When you get to 1.7 billion in assets, to get to the 5 billion number, it takes a whole lot of grunt and a whole lot of muscle. We knew we needed a capital partner. So when we went to market, we went looking for that capital partner. But I knew in my heart of hearts, having seen kind of industry trends all over the world, that the big gorillas will win the day. And Wealthspire's parent is NFP. NFP has 6,000 employees, does 1.5 billion in revenue, and it was already an RIA of 12 billion or more. So when we shopped around, we were looking for an organization that brought us what we needed: better technology, better marketing, better compliance. Frankly, we needed everything to fire, because to go from where we were to the next level, we needed a big partner. Wealthspire was perfect for us because they were big enough to be a real player, but yet they have a vision to get to 20, 30 billion. And that's what we want. We know that to grow is how you survive. You can't feed families. You can't feed the community. You can't care for clients long-term if you're not growing in it and staying in a growth zone. So Wealthspire had that growth appetite, and away we went. Perfect match.
So the Wealthspire story has a strong mid-Atlantic presence, not only StratWealth, but back in 2019, they acquired Rothman Rothschild. So tell us about that acquisition. And that really, I guess, laid the foundation.
Yeah, good question. I mean, Wealthspire is a relatively new brand name in the RIA space, but it's the merger of Sontag Advisors, which was about a little over 5 billion, and Rothman Rothschild, which is in the DC area mainly, which is again around 5 billion. So when they came together, again, coming together for the same reasons, together they can do more than being apart. Together they can combine and leverage resources. They can scale at 10 billion. They get better buying power at 10 billion. And the whole thing made sense. And they had the same planning approach. So Rothman Rothschild and Sontag, had been partnering and dialoguing and in study groups with each other for years. And one day they just kind of came to the conclusion that it made sense to be together. Sontag and Rothman became one in about 2 years ago. And about 12 months ago, they changed the name to Wealthspire. And that's when we were in the conversations with them. And when that happened, we were all in, because the Wealthspire name is new. It's wet paint. We get to create a name for it in the marketplace. And that's fundamentally my job.
And so give us a snapshot of where Wealthspire is today in terms of assets under management, the number of certified financial planners, offices, states. Yeah, give us some idea of where Wealthspire is today.
The easy number is the headline number. We're about $12.7 billion of assets under management as of sort of December last year. We're in 14 different states. We have, we're in 8 different states with 14 offices in those 8 states. We have 65 advisors, of which 60 are CFPs. We have 6 CFAs. We have 2 in-house attorneys that do trust and estates. We have a whole trust and estates section in the platform. About 150 people, 160 people, all up across the Wealthspire footprint. But it's growing. Talk to me in a month from now, and that number will be a little bit bigger.
And so your title is Chief Growth Officer. What are your responsibilities? And is your
Strategic Growth Officer, right? But I say that intentionally because growth is growth, and growth for growth's sake is irrelevant, and it can cause damage long term. We want to be very intentional about our growth. Growth at Wealthspire has to be more than just one client at a time, which we love. We love our clients. We care for them. We're a planning first organization, but you don't get to 30 billion. You don't go from the moon to Mars, Elon Musk. You don't go from the moon to Mars, incrementally. You've got to take bold steps. So strategic growth officer is intentional. We want to get to 20 and 30 billion of assets. We want to be in 15 to 18 different states, not just the 8 or 9 we're in today. We want to have a deeper impact in the family office market as well. So we have about 5 billion of our assets are in clients we could stand up a family office service, and we're excited about that. We have 10% of our clients that are accumulators, that are young, right? So we've got a pathways offering that says, come on in at a very low price and participate in the wealth management space and grow your assets. We can cover the client experience at all levels. But we don't do it one client at a time. We have to do it through M&A. We have to do it through increased organic growth. We have to do it through programs that work. So my job is to design those programs, roll them out, and keep the advisors rolling.
And can you describe the Wealthspire platform and really put it in context of, I guess, the other RIA roll-ups? Yeah, is it a platform versus a roll-up? And how do you differentiate those two?
That's a good question, Edwin. RIA roll-up is a dime a dozen out there, and they're putting good money out to advisors to help them and bring them on board. But a lot of these firms, a lot of these organizations are offering nothing more than a check, and the advisor has to still bear the brunt of running the business, growing the business, and managing the business. I think personally that advisors are really good advising, and they struggle with, how do I do those 3 things? How do I grow, manage, and create real value? Roll-ups don't solve that problem. What we designed at Wealthspire is a platform that helps advisors do just that. It's to expand their offering, have a deeper bench of investment management, a deeper technology platform, and a better output to reach clients. So when you tumble that together, you get an expansion platform, very different from a roll-up.
And can you share the investment strategy at Wealthspire?
Well, it's probably easier to say what we're not. We're not active managers. We're not chasing market returns. We don't hang our hat on performance because it's a fool's game. We're planning first. Clients come to us and stay with us. We have almost a 98 to 99% retention rate. That alone is a key indicator of what we're doing right. The investment strategy is baked in from a CMA. We look at the markets, both macro and micro. We look at top and bottom. We have a team of 7 people moving to 8 on the investment management team. It's centralized trading. It's centralized management, but the advisor gets to customize the client experience at the front end based on the client's risk profile. So a strategy is based on the client's risk profile. It takes a long-term view based on cash flow, but we have access at almost 13 billion. We have access to products and investments that most RIAs don't have access to. That said, we're not trying to be tactical, right? We are strategic in nature and intentional. We're holding but we're trading what we need, what we think is not working long-term for the client.
And so what part of the Wealthspire Advisors and Jim Decarlo's story have you not shared with us? What's missing in this story?
I think it's just it's where the industry is heading. I don't know if you know this, Edwin, but we're the last country on earth that speaks English that has not been through financial reform. We have not been through full financial reform. And one of the things that I saw when I was over in Australia looking into the US market, I said, reform is going to come. You're going to get a clear awareness between the true fiduciary type advisor who put the clients first, and clients will begin to understand that is a differentiator between that and, say, a Goldman Sachs or a Morgan Stanley or a T. Rowe Price, because they make products and they have conflicts of interest. I think the industry is going to continue to change. It's going to continue to evolve. I think more reform is going to come in. I think smaller RIAs are going to struggle to compete. I think the big players will, with the hairy gorilla in the corner like an NFP, will be able to dominate the landscape. I'm excited by that. I love building and growing businesses. I love working with advisors that work with clients. They do it for a reason. Our advisors have a calling, right? They go to work every day with their hearts and their minds, but they also go, they come at it with a lot of experience and intellectual property. That's perfect. My job is to help them run that business better and grow the whole thing. I love what we're doing, and I think Wealthspire is going to be a name to reckon with in the next few years.
Well, thanks for sharing the story, and it will be very exciting to see how Wealthspire's brand evolves over time. So again, thank you for your time and best of luck. And hopefully the next time we talk, there'll be a lot more assets under management.
Thank you, Erwin. Thank you.